Thanks for coming. Obviously, very proud of our effort against Michigan State, and a tough environment against a very good team. And our guys, they played their best game. A lot of areas we can still improve on, and the directive to our team has been: we gave them a mission, we accomplished the mission. What do you do when you accomplish a mission? You enjoy it, you celebrate it, then you learn from it, and then good teams and championship level teams look forward to their next mission. So that's the what we're using this week as far as just getting our team ready to go. Champions for Michigan State was defense. On defense, excuse me, Von Bell, graded champion Michael Bennett, and player of the game is Durand Grant. Obviously not near enough for what we expect. On offense, you had three receivers: Evan Spencer, who was playing like the most valuable player on our team right now, and the things we ask him to do. He's my MVP as far as just all around what we ask him to do. Jalen Marshall, graded champion, playing at a very high level. And Mike Thomas, which is his improvement from really since he's been here. And it's all about the way he takes care of his business. And he's grading out, and every week we do academic attitude and effort grade, and he used to screw around with a 6 or a 7, and was probably on his way out of here. Now he's a 9 or 9.5, and that's the correlation between a guy that's got everything in order and playing well. I think everybody knows that, but that's why Mike Thomas is playing well. He's taking care of his business, and that's a credit to. I told his dad when I saw him at Maryland, I said, that's because nowadays you get these third uncles that all they want to do is complain, and Michael Thomas' family did not. They said, what do we need to do to get better? How can we support the coaching staff? And guess what happened? Mike Thomas is playing at a very, very high level. Jeff Hireman, graded champion. Offensive line had a couple bad situations early in that game, but boy, did they play well after they got going. Pat Elflein, graded champion, and Billy Price, graded champion, a freshman, in that environment against that defensive line. Players of the game went with 4 guys, and they were. I made them come up with names because they wanted to do the whole offense, but I thought this was my recommendation as well. Jacoby Bourne, I think he's back-to-back. Did he get last week too, Jerry, do you remember? Which is, once again, just a tribute to Jacoby and the Bourne family. Played a champion, his most physical game he's played. J.T. Barrett, he's our quarterback, in case you didn't know that. He's graded champion as well. Ezekiel Elliott, once again, plays as hard as any back I've ever witnessed without the ball, and played great and really physical game. And Devin Smith played his best game, played with his most emotion, and also did great in kicking game for us. So that's the offensive and defensive champions. A couple of mentions for special teams player of the week was Evan Spencer, and also I want Corey Smith. Came out and made 2 tackles and kickoff cover. So look for Corey Smith if he continues to get things in order to be in a rotation with the receivers. With that said, tough. I don't want to say I didn't expect it, because I did. I've known Jerry Kill a long time, and I always thought he's one of the best football coaches, and his coaching staff's been together. I think his defense coordinator's been together forever, and the offense coordinator like 15 years. He's won at every level, which I admire guys that do that. And I got a lot of admiration for him as a coach. He knows that. He's a friend, and his team. This is the first time I've coached against one of his teams, and it's everything you'd think of a Jerry Kill coach team. And relentless effort, very well coached. I haven't studied their offense yet, but special teams and defense are very, very good. Statistically, they're very good, and to do that to Iowa, who I think Iowa's a heck of a team, that tells you they got some momentum right now. So. We're done with the celebration part. Now we're learning from it, and the players will receive their directive tomorrow, and we're moving forward.
Front row, Dave.
Coach, there's a report out there that Dontre Wilson is injured. Can you address that?
Dontre broke his foot. Yeah, he actually caught a touchdown pass with a broken foot. That tells you he's a tough guy. He didn't have a good game. He had a couple balls on the ground, but yeah, he's out for a few weeks. I don't know the extent. I'll get you that probably by Wednesday. They might have to put a pin in it, and so.
Obviously, Jalen's played well there, but looking at the backups,
Noah Brown gets in the mix, and Corey Smith gets in the mix. Devin Spencer is a multiple guy that can do a lot of things. Nick Vanette is a guy. So the good thing is there's some personnel You know, it's not exactly like Dontre, but on 240-pound H-back, Noah Brown brings a little something to the table, too, that works out. He's earned some right to play, so.
Curtis Samuel's just going to be a tailback. Curtis Samuel's well, he gets some snaps there, maybe.
Probably not now. Depends how recruiting goes. Because he can do a lot of things for us. Because you're just so, we're beat up at tailback, too. You can't move a guy out of there yet.
Front row, top.
Irving, you kind of touched on this a little bit in your opening statement. How difficult is it? You had the loss to Virginia Tech. The win this week kind of gets you guys back into that mix. How difficult is it, though, to maintain this and keep pushing on that upward trajectory?
It's not difficult. It's fun. I mean, that's the thing that Lou Holtz would always say. It's, you know, and this is where I think coaches make a lot of mistakes. It's you don't just go blow the whole thing up when you lose a game. You know, that's fragile. You know, you coach them really hard when you win. So you said how difficult? It's not difficult at all. You lose that game Saturday, it's really difficult. Now you got problems. Now you got, you know, motivation problems. So it's all the way we handle it. And the good thing is I got 9 good coaches, and more importantly, I got players that understand that we didn't play as well as we could on defense, and we expect to play much better. 2 weeks ago, we didn't play as well on offense, so there's plenty to work on.
And with JT's progress, have you coached a kid or quarterback who's made as much progress in 3 weeks or 3 months as he has, and would you consider him a guy to throw out in a Heisman mix right now?
Well, great question. I think Alex Smith was a guy that, obviously that's a big name, so to start throwing Alex Smith around, but you asked me a question, and Alex couldn't call a play his first snap against Utah State and went on to be what he was. And really by the end of his first year playing for us, he was a sophomore. He made just every week incremental jumps as far as how he handled business. And JT's like that. JT's made incredible jumps as far as how he handles his business, and accuracy of passing last week was fantastic. So to answer your question, I'm not seeing it. You know, I've seen one, Alex, make that kind of improvement. And you said as far as the Heisman, when I get national questions, it's so hard because I have not seen anybody play. I've seen the teams replay, and I'll flip it on Thursday nights. I'll watch some football, and that's about it. So I haven't seen. I think statistically he's got to be in the mix somewhere. I think, but I haven't even asked Jerry for that information yet.
Front row, Bill.
Was Saturday's offensive performance what you wanted to see?
It's our best performance we've had since we've been here. It's very balanced, and I think you have to. What I always like to do is, obviously statistically, I think we probably had more yards against other teams, but that was against a legitimate top 5 defense in America, and a bunch of NFL players on that defense, and it was very well executed.
And as far as the defense goes, obviously we got 37 points, but as far as the pass defense, with Chris Ash being hired, was that the triggering and the aggressiveness, was that closer to what you had in mind?
Yes, I mean, you take away, you know, I think when you get ahead by a couple scores, what happens, you start playing that bend but don't break, which I can't stand, and I'm not sure many people can stand, but it's also probably the smart thing to do, keep the ball in front of you, close the middle of the field at times, which we did and gave up some yards. So I'm not in a panic. You know, I think our defense coaches are a little upset with the way things transpired that we got to get fixed, and we're still looking for that rotation at defensive line, and I'm upset about that we can't get that done, and so there's going to be a lot of pressure on guys this week to get that done.
Front row, Austin.
Irvin, when you recruit somebody like Jalen Marshall, even in high school, do you start envisioning all the various ways that you can use them, or do you have to wait till they get on campus before you can start tinkering? Whatever?
No, we put the APB out every year for the multi-dimensional athlete on offense, and it's the tight end H and it's the tailback H. And we just, over the years, that position has evolved. You like moving those checkers around when you have guys that can take direct snaps. When you have and a quarterback, the thing I always look at too is, you know, Joe Hayden was a quarterback in high school. You're not going to just put your best player out there for 30 plays a game at corner. You know, if he's a great player, he's going to touch the football. And so Jalen Marshall played quarterback in high school. It's right where he should have played. He's the best, probably I don't know, but I do know because I watched him. He was the best player on that team. So the APB's always been out for those kind of athletes that can do multiple things.
Do you feel this year you're more comfortable taking a quarterback out and putting in Dontre Wilson or Jalen in that Wildcat than you were the last couple of years?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, more with Jalen because he's a quarterback. Dontre, we didn't do a lot. Jalen was cramped when we did that little trick play with Dontre in there, but I'm more comfortable with we're slowly teaching Curtis, because I think the Wildcat's legitimate, especially at tempo, but Jalen gives you, and he can throw. We have a couple passes ready for him too.
Tim.
Yeah. Perfect. When you look at JT Barrett, though, you were asked a while ago about the Heisman kind of thing and stuff, but where has he made the biggest jump from the standpoint of just poise, or whatever you want to call it? I mean, where can you definitely point to he is so much better than he was against Virginia Tech?
Just the understanding of the game. I think Tom's done a very good job with him, and I think the personnel around him has really improved. He was really prepared for this game, and so were the wideouts, our two coaches on that side of the ball, and really the offense staff did a heck of a job getting that group ready. I felt it during the week too. But his biggest jump is just the management, just being a manager. He does a good job getting us in the right play. He understands defenses really well now, and his accuracy. When he's accurate, that's a tough one to stop because he gets us into the right. The ones he missed, I think the week before, he went the right place with the ball. He just misfired. You don't see him very often go the wrong place with the ball, and he's a very intellectual quarterback, very smart quarterback.
The other thing, Joey Bosa had 6.5 sacks his previous 3 games, or some stat like that. Saturday night he was shut out from a sack standpoint. But did you see them very much ganging up on him as you studied things? I mean, what did you see a little frustration on his part? What did you see from him? Yeah,
I saw good players get frustrated at times when they don't live up to the statistics or whatever. And I just finished watching the defensive side of the ball today. And they did. They slid the formation to him. They had 2 guys usually assigned to him. And that just put a lot of pressure on the other guys to hold up their end of the bargain. And Joey didn't play great at champion, so he's got things to work on too. But that's legitimate. When you hear that they're either putting a tailback to him or they're sliding to him, that leaves a guard and a tackle to slide to him. That's real, which is smart. I mean, that's not gonna go away.
Second row middle. Dave. Briggs.
Urban, I know you talked about this earlier this year, but just as JT continues to progress on pace to set a bunch of school records, do you kind of sense that you have a pretty tough decision coming up next year? Is that something you've given thought to? I mean, it's obviously become a big debate out there.
Out where?
Just outside.
Not here. Competition brings out the best, and I'm really excited to have 2 really good quarterbacks next year, if that's the plan.
Just on an unrelated note, there's kind of an interesting stat that teams the week after they played Navy this year are 1-7. You mentioned the Virginia Tech game in your opening statement.
They're 1-7?
1-7 the week after, and I think Notre Dame's
I can see that.
2-7 the last 9 years. But how do you think the committee should view that loss now that you guys are? I mean, you guys
playing Minnesota. I'll say this because I knew. I don't want to act like it's rehearsed, but it's a little rehearsed because I tend to say stupid things sometimes. That early in the season, we were not a great team. We had a quarterback that was a quarterback for about 2 weeks and did not play very well. We had an offensive line that played horrible that game, and a group of receivers that were not ready to play. The young guys were not. This is the most improved team that I've been a part of. This is a team that I've been fortunate to be around some championship level teams. They have a common characteristics, and they're grinders. They get better each week. Those are championship level teams. So this is, now once again, this could all be gone if we don't go out and continue to do what we do, and that's grind on a Tuesday and Wednesday and a Thursday. So that's really the only thing I can really, because I don't really study other playoff, I keep getting all those questions, and I don't know. But I do know a championship level team. A team continues to grow like they are. There's no question this is one of them.
Front row, Lori.
I am sure that the guys need to recover physically this week from that game.
Right.
They also spent a lot of emotional energy, mental energy, adrenaline on that game. How do they recover from that standpoint this week? I would say paranoid is probably an appropriate word on that. And my strength coach, Coach Mick, they have 8 hours on us. And we have to get those 8 hours back. And so we cut practice way down yesterday. We gave them a 10 o'clock curfew. We have no school on Tuesday, so there'll be another curfew tonight, so that's how we catch up. So that's very important what you just said. You're dealing with 18, 19, 20-year-olds that need a lot of times direction. Not a lot, they need direction. And this is a noon kickoff, and we got in at 3:30, you know. So that's a very serious. You tend to lose hydration, body weight, and certainly rest. And the great thing, I didn't know we had a Tuesday off, but our kids don't have class on Tuesday, so that's a big makeup day for everything you just said, and that is real.
I'm sure that that game also taught you a lot about the leadership of your club. I mean, who are the guys that you're trusting to refocus the players? Who is it that stood out?
That's another great question. Duran Grant and Curtis Grant are phenomenal, and Jeff Hireman, you know, and Jacoby Bourne in his own way is becoming a leader, and Taylor Decker. I mean, I'm starting to see some things surface that was very much needed, and there's still some areas that we need more. I mean, the defensive back end right now, we need a little more leadership back there. The defensive line, Mike Bennett's trying, but you need more than just him, and you need to get some rotation going. So there's some weaknesses, but I am really seeing, and I saw it in the locker room before the game, and you can really, I'll sit there and watch videotape, and when a play goes out of bounds, I'll watch that play 15 to 30 times. I'm not watching the play anymore. I'm watching the sideline. I'm watching to see the invested player, who's into the game going on. You know, when JT got knocked out of bounds and wiped out our strength coach, you know, I ran that summer gun back, I mean, at least 30 times. I'm trying to watch each person and seeing who's invested. Because you can sit there and babble all you want in my office, but when it shows up in a game like that, and the good thing is we have a lot of invested players right now.
Far left, Rusty.
Urban, can the weather work against you this weekend? The Northern Stadium that's open?
The weather, it's going to be cold, I imagine, in Minnesota in November. I don't know. I don't know. I heard there's no snow or rain right now, but yeah, I don't know. I think they're a very good running team. It might limit some of the throw game stuff, and their defense is kind of built to stop the runs. So those are all, I don't know enough yet about them. It's just Monday.
You're going to touch on this also, but I mean, a lot of times coaches have to give players attention the week after a big game. Is that something you feel like you have to do?
Sure. Yeah. Once again, we enjoy the win, learn from the win, and then they'll get the mission tomorrow, and that'll be a big. I'll know after how they practice, but we have to make sure they're ready for practice on Tuesday.
And final questions, Doug.
Urban, you guys have talked a lot in the offseason about what you thought this offense could progress to this year, and it seems like what is happening is what you guys talked about months ago. How much of it is progress of the offense, or how much is sort of the way JT plays quarterback influencing how everything's working right now?
I think it's more the people around him. I think if you look back at our history since we've been here, we were borderline pathetic at passing the ball our first year, 2012. Last year we were, just above pathetic, not very good, and now we're pushing the envelope of you're throwing 300 yards against Michigan State. So and I don't blame fans. I'd be the same. Throw the ball, throw that downfield, and I'm thinking, who are we going to throw it to? And now, when I say who are we going to throw it to, 4 or 5 names pop into my mind, which is a good sign. So I do believe JT has a big part of it, but I think more importantly, those around him are playing much better. We have 5 guys I have no problem with throwing the ball to. Remember 2012, name who we could throw the ball to. And the matter of fact, Evan Spencer deserves more than he's getting. He really does. And, the good thing is he understands the big picture.
Yeah, I know you just answered this question, but your quarterback was the 2-time Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year. He got hurt for the year, and you bring in the next quarterback, and he's doing this. Like, it's a little crazy to you that your quarterback play is at this level, and that you're going to have 2 guys on that roster, and that this is the. I mean,
your term is crazy. I don't know if I've ever said that's kind of crazy.
But, it's just, you have these 2 quarterbacks sitting in this building. You lost the guy who won every award, was going to break every record, and here you are.
I don't use the term crazy. I think fortunate and blessed are 2 things, because a lot of people want either one of them, because I think they're both excellent quarterbacks, and we'll worry about that day when it comes, but we're very fortunate to have those guys. But once again, when you start saying that, JT Barrett is a product of those around him. I also say that when things aren't going as well. the quarterback is, I've said that since the Alex Smith to Tebow to their product of those, you put good guys around a good quarterback and teach them well, there's usually a good chance good things are going to happen. And right now the guys around them the receivers had their best. I'm kind of high on the receivers right now, as you can tell, and that's probably a first since we've been here. Their coach did an excellent job preparing them. They were loaded up, ready to go in that locker room before the game, and they went out and performed. And J.T. Barrett threw the ball where he did it with a very good accuracy, especially that third down and 23. That was a ridiculous shot, but also the kid catching the ball, there's probably, of all the guys I've ever coached, I don't know how many could make that cut. That was dropped right over the outside shoulder. So a lot of good things going on, but once again, it's all, throw it all away if we don't take care of business Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in practice.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Thanks.